Hello and welcome to the TES Secondary Maths Resource of the Week number 12 with me, Craig Barton. Now I'll tell you what absolutely does my head in, and that's students not being able to use their calculator properly. And I've lost count of the number of times where I've had a student in my class for a good couple of years and they've never had the calculator with them and they're always borrowing one off me or borrowing one off their classmates. And then on the day of their calculator GCSE exam, they come and see me in the morning, big proud smile on the face, showing me this brand new fancy calculator that they've bought the night before. And of course, they don't have the first clue how to use it. And every single calculator works completely differently. And it would make teachers' lives a whole lot easier if every child had to have the same model of calculator. But of course, that's never going to happen. And in fact, even if they did, it's still not guaranteed to solve all the problems, because things like entering fractions into a calculator, or powers, or trigonometry, or square roots, it's not a particularly easy skill, and it's only through constant practice that students get good at it. And of course the problem is, practicing those kind of skills is a little bit on the dull side. So therefore any kind of resource that makes that a bit more exciting and a bit more engaging is always going to go down a storm with me. And this resource here, Calculator Story, which has been uploaded by Frickard, is one of the best I've seen in this particular area. So it had to be my resource of the week this week. So let's take a little look at it. It's a PDF file and it looks like this. A very simple, straightforward looking resource, but it's the power of it that makes it so impressive. So it's a little story, and each time students reach one of these boxes, they've got to reach for the calculator, type in the sum, flip it upside down, and read what the word said, and what the word says. Sorry. And there's a nice handy code here for the students to follow in case they can't quite make it out. And just look at some of the skills that they've got to use to be able to do this. So we've got powers here. Then we've got this one. I really like this particular one, because this for me shows the kind of advantage of having one of those natural display calculators. Because if you didn't, think what you're going to have to do to get that right. Are you going to need brackets around the top? Maybe, maybe not, but you're certainly going to need brackets around this bottom bit, and then you're going to have to get the divide sign in. But of course with the natural display, as long as you type it in and it looks like that, you're going to be good to go. And then we've got fractions here, doing mixed number fractions, which are quite tricky to type in. We've got divisions of fractions down here, taking away fractions. Here's your first look at a square root sign. I love it when we get to this, taking away negative numbers and emphasizing the importance of putting that negative number in a bracket. Quartic roots, I guess you've got there, fourth roots, sorry. Tricky powers along here, and it just really does box off all the key skills of calculator entry that students are going to need up to GCSE, with a possible exception of course of things like pi and the trigonometric ratios. I did this with my year 7 class. I've got an absolutely delightful year 7 class this year, and before we started doing any of the trickier things, I wanted to make sure that they were very, very good at the calculators. So I gave them this and they absolutely loved doing it. And what was my favourite bit of the lesson? Once we got over things like why do we actually need brackets around these minus signs, and when does it make a difference where we have them and when we don't, the bit that they absolutely loved, and to be honest with you, I mean this shows how I should perhaps prepare my lessons a little bit more carefully. I hadn't actually noticed the factorial signs that creep into this bottom bit. And when the kids got to them, they were like, well, sir, what's going on with this? What's this? And they were absolutely loving it. So I just said, well, have a little play around with that factorial sign, see if you can figure out what it does. Try a few numbers, try 5 factorial, 3 factorial. And they absolutely loved their little investigation to try and figure out what that exclamation mark means. And there's another little tool in their armoury that they can use as and when they need. And yeah, it was just an absolutely delightful resource, and there's the answers to it as well. And of course it leads on to a natural homework, which is to get the kids to write their own problems. And it's, if you think about this kind of skill level involved there, they've got to come up with a word first, and I guess, I mean, I'm tempted to chuck in here that it's kind of literacy across the curriculum and all that, but it's a bit of a fudge claiming that, I guess. But for me, the important thing is, once they've come up with the word, they've then got to come up with a sum to match that word. And my year 7s are very competitive, so I said I'll try and make the sum as complicated as possible. So there's your bit of differentiation built in as well. And we had some absolutely lovely stories, all of which came from this wonderful starting point. So if you want to get your kids practicing entering all the key things into calculators correctly, then I'd strongly suggest you use that. If you're looking for an engaging resource that kind of introduces them to a little bit of A-level mathematics via the factorial, then this is the resource for you. And if you want a lovely, creative, rich, engaging, interesting homework, then look no further than this as well. It truly is a wonderful resource. If you use it, could I ask you just to perhaps pop a little comment on the bottom of this Resource of the Week page, perhaps even just saying thank you to the author. Or if you've come up with an interesting, different way of using the resource, or you've got any experiences to share, then it'd be absolutely fantastic to hear from you. And I shall return with a fresh Resource of the Week next week. Take care and bye for now.